Hello everyone and welcome back to Trihard Games. I'm Q, and this week we're going to be doing the finale of this series, which is the Astral Observatory. Hope you like it. Right, I'm going to cut the arch this off and use its form for the base of our tower. Doink. Got that in for a shot. I'm just putting a bit of cardboard in here to make it more rigid so it's not as floppy. Bit of hot glue around the edge to keep it in place. Now it's nice and sturdy. The workhorse of this series, wallpaper again. This is essentially just a giant column. We're taking the premise of video 1 and expanding on it like we always do. Just hiding this seam line as best I can, and then trimming off the excess off the top. Here's one I made earlier. A piece of rolled cardboard and the wallpaper on it again, and a piece in the inside to keep it sturdy. Once you get this, I don't even know the measurements. I winged the measurements. And then to hide that unsightly seam line, I'm going to use a bit of foam.
XPS.
Bends round nicely, and then we're going to just draw the lines in. The top of the tower here took a few cracks at getting those lines right, but eventually got them as close as I could. Barrow, get your brick lines for around the edge and underneath too, and then hit it with your texture tools, whatever they may be. These wee wings are the same shapes that were used in the second video in the cathedral, and it's just a way of tying the architecture together as like they were built by the same people essentially. Once you've got them placed fairly badly, hide the seams. Here we're just making the wee parts to make a door. Just cut a wee eyeball it up here. Make a wee door frame. The lintel in the middle of the arch, same again from the cathedral, just to carry on that architectural theme. And then marking brick lines in. See if you make an individual bricks that are curved. Using a bit of balsa wood or basswood, depending on what you get. It's all apparently the same shit. Smooth off them edges. Give it a wee file with a stick sander. And then just marking out the center and the boards. You can just get this approximate. Then the scoring in this actually makes it easier to bend around the thing itself. Bit of wire brush to give it texture. It's not a brand new door. Just give it a good rake. It just fills it full of texture. It just means when you wash and dry brush, it'll make it all stand out. Some of the wee fence here. Just cutting these up and using these as hinges. Once again, tying all the themes together. It's the exact same shapes as the fence, because it is the fence, just cut up to make hinges. Stick them on, and then a few wee rhinestones. Back once again, and then put them on where you think they'd be riveted to the door. Once you get them stuck on, a bit of PVA glue to hold them in place, because they do stick, but they'll just wipe off when you paint it. Wee bit of bend in that to get it to fit with the contours of the tower. And then this is just a piece of armature wire to make a bolt for the door. Just a wee bit with a curly bit and two wee bends, and I just push them in and then glue them on top. Do really. Bit of hot glue and glue it in place here. Once got that forced in, trimmed off the excess at the bottom. We light sand. Not too complicated. And the base, more or less, is done. Now, columns, could not have them. Trying to space them equally distanced, but my lines aren't 100%, so it doesn't really matter. It wouldn't pass building control. Another circle to go around the top of the pillars. Lines aren't great either, but it doesn't matter because we're going to break it up here. So we're just going to snap this up here. Make it look like it took a bit of damage. So I'm done farting about with these ones. I don't like these lines, so I'm going to cut this one out and break it up too. I don't entirely follow the line to try and straighten it up as best I can, as you can see there. Just playing with the idea and getting it in the right place. So the other one broke up into pieces. Initially was going to put it on the floor, didn't want to block the doorway. Now we're going to work on the base for a round, like a wall around, or an enclosure around the tower. Cut a load of circles, stack them up. Line the edges with a piece of card to hide the cardboard edge. Just hot glued it on. And now a bit of polyfiller, just to fill them gaps in so they don't get seen. It's definitely worth doing this process. Straight onto these tiles. From a base, mark out the width that I want. Use a pair of scissors to cut this tile to the size I want. Cut this bit in half. For the entrance, set that to the side. Once again, same process. And then I wanted to have two ways of getting into this, so I broke out the back. Wanted it to look as if it was blasted through from the outside. I'm going to cut that, I followed the lines on the wallpaper. Then we're going to use small bits of foam to set on top to accentuate the illusion. Back in with the polyfiller to hide the cardboard ends. Bit of gravel. And then start gluing everything down. Once you get your centers. And the pad stone for the top of the wall. I start gluing everything down. Now to do some of the pathway around it. I did this in patches with just some of the spare bits I had because I was going to cover it with paper mache, you know. So we can put some muck and flock and things around it. So it's overgrown. Hide some of the seams from the base and the cobblestone wall. Once you got that, we'll get this stage. Base it all in black. Just for the tower, give the same process as bridge. Pick out a few blocks, do light ones and darker variations of the basic colour, and then a black wash over the top, and then dry brush with a lighter grey. Moving on to the door here with Havana brown, and then dry brushing with a yellow ochre. Picks out all them details you put in with the wire brush. And then back with this copper for the fittings to keep the theme all together. And then a bit of dry brush on all the foam parts to lift the edges. I'm going to use the Havana brown for the muck as well. And base that down so that if any gaps in the flock, you'll see a brown colour and then it looks like it's just muck. Here's the fences again, cut in half this time. Made wee gates as well, all on that cricket. It's been a godsend for these builds. Just some posts made out of barbecue skewers and painted copper as well. Once I got all them placed and glued, we've done the fences, same routine as before, just cut them up and break them up, bend them. The only new thing in this is the gates, which actually came up really well. Now this is the scene I was saying about, or as if someone had blasted in, we're going to do a poor wee Skelly getting squashed on the other side by all the rubble.
Think about his Skelly wife and his Skelly kids. They're waiting for him to come back.
He probably thought he was safe behind that wall. Moss paste again. I'm using this to fill up just places where you think moss will go, or any gaps or things that you want to hide. I give the fence and all a black wash to bring it all down so it's not so bright. Then dry brush the moss with a basic yellow. Just catch the edges. Love this technique. Oh, also teal wash after the black wash on that fence, and then flock in the base. Same as before. Wee tufts, split these up and spread them out, and that's more or less it. Hope you enjoyed this one, and maybe something a bit different next week. Once you kind of like push this here as far as you want, you know, you can build I mean, it's endless, really. It's down to your imagination. Well, if you enjoyed that, give us a wee like and sub, leave any comments, and we'll try to reply to them, as many of them as we can. Until next time, keep trying.
GQ broke his model. Look at that. Look at that.
Shut the fuck up.
Can't even see shit because autofocus is on.
There you go. I don't know how the fuck this is going to stick back together, man. What way did it break?